Hello po, maraming salamat sa pag-click ng video na to. My name is Neil Baler or Neil Yang Baler. Kung bago pa lang po kayo sa YouTube channel ko, welcome to my YouTube channel kung saan ang bida ay ang kwento ng mga kababayan po natin na naninirahan dito sa Alberta, specifically dito sa Edmonton. Kahapon po nagkaroon po ako ng pagkakataon na makausap ko si Jazel Herrera. Siya po ang may-ari ng Barbera Mobile Barbershop located sa Sherwood Park, Alberta. Doon na ikwento niya sa akin kung bakit nag-decide siyang magsimula ng negosyo at paano siya nag-transition from being a full-time worker sa isang healthcare facility to business owner. So marami po kayong wisdom or knowledge na makukuha sa video or sa interview na ginawa po naming dalawa. At iniimbitahan ko po kayo na panoorin niyo po itong full interview. And by the way guys, kung kayo po ay new client niya, sabihin niyo lamang po yung pangalan ko, Neil. At napanood niyo po ako sa Pornoy Abroad, which is yung YouTube channel ko. At bibigyan po kayo niya ng 50% discount for the new client. So please watch this video.
Hi, my name is Jazel Herrera. I'm the owner of Barbera Mobile Barbershop. I got here in Canada since 2013. So, yung mami ko yung nagpetisyon sa amin. I have one brother and one half sister. Dito na din sila nakatira. They're also in the healthcare field. So, nung nasa Pilipinas ako, because of my papers na I can't really work. So, yung mga kaibigan ko, may mga sarili ng career. But because na pinipetisyon ako ng mami ko, so I studied a lot of courses. Nag-healthcare ako, tapos nag-culinary and arts, tapos in the middle na papunta na ako dito, I'm trying to study pharmacist.
Ano talaga yung reason kung bakit yung parang, sige, yung parang kahit yung heart mo sa Pinas, pero sabi mo, sige, tutuloy ko na lang to.
Kasi growing up, wala kasi akong walang mother figure. So, which is I understand kasi nga yung mom ko, she sacrificed a lot of things, especially na hindi kami maging together kasi nga nagtrabaho siya sa abroad, which is understandable now na malaki na ako kasi look what I have now, she gave us a better future here in Canada. And at first, medyo hesitate ako kasi syempre masaya sa Pilipinas, di ba? Nandun yung kaibigan mo, nandun na yung nakasanayan mo, pagkain. Tapos pagdating ko dito, syempre, kahit na nag-aaral tayo ng English sa Pilipinas, it's totally different here. Like, talaga na culture shock ako. Kasi, when I got here, I'm not really to speak fluent in English. Hindi naman ako masyadong magaling na when it comes to understanding English. So, yun yung mga naging ko in the beginning.
Yung naging adjustment ng buhay mo rito, naging smooth ba yung transition mo from Philippines to sa new world, which is itong Canada?
Well, actually, hindi naging madali. Kasi, syempre, nasanay ako, lumaki ako ng walang nanay, di ba? So, after, when I was 23 years old, all of a sudden, may mother figure ako. So, it's a really big adjustment. And the fact na, alam mo yun, I'm starting to explore kung ano talaga yung field ko, hindi ako marunong mag-English. So, yung confidence ko, hindi pa ganun ka-build. So, which is, naging thankful din ako kasi, nadaanan ko yung mga panahon na, alam mo yun, na nagmukha akong tanga, pinagtawanan ako, kasi hindi ko naintindihan. So, thankful din ako kasi hindi naman ako magiging ngayon kung ano ko ngayon kung hindi ko napagdaanan yun eh.
Ano yung unang naging trabaho mo nung dumating ka dito sa Canada? Tapos, gaano ka katagal dun sa trabaho na yun?
Okay. So, kasi yung mami ko nasa healthcare field siya, one of the home for the agent here. Yung across the street lang. So pagdating ko dito, after a week, syempre wala akong ginagawa, wala akong kaibigan. So my mom actually offered me kung gusto mo na magtrabaho. So after a week, nung pagdating ko dito sa Canada, that was January. Mga kalagitnaan ng January, nagtrabaho na ako as a server. Yung server sa dining, yung magsaserve ka ng pagkain sa mga old folk, sa matatanda. Tapos, I did that for a couple of years. Tapos, syempre, I built a good relationship with the chef. yung mga tagaluto doon sa inside kitchen. And they found out na meron akong background ng culinary back home. So, at first, naging assistant ako. Then, I become a head chef sa facility na yun for a couple of years. Tapos noon, dahil nga may background din ako ng healthcare field sa Pilipinas, nakapag-aral ako, pumasok ako sa isang non-profit organization dito sa Sherwood Park din. So, while I'm doing chef in the morning, at night, nagtatrabaho ako as a caregiver. So, basically, nagwo-work ako day and night para lang, I don't know, wala naman akong pero my mom is really pushing me to have my own house, to save up, kaya ganon. Kaya, parang naano din ako, kasi lahat ng tao, di ba, dito sa Canada, talaga nagtatrabaho all the time. Kaya parang lang ako na wala na mawawala sa akin. So, it's okay. Total, wala naman din akong gagawin. So, papasok na lang ako sa trabaho. So, nung mga 2023, I decided na mag-change career. Out of the blue. Wala lang. Gusto ko lang itry yung different career. Kasi, I have noticed na madami akong mga staff noon na older than me na they have the full potential, but they don't have any choice to switch career because of their age, Kasi, it's very risky to change a career, especially kung meron kang fixed income. Alam mo kung magkano kikitain mo sa isang buwan. Pag nag-change ka ng career, expect na at the first few years, hindi ka kikita talaga. Which is, na-experience ko yun when it comes to barbering. So, for the whole year of 2024, I have no income at all. So, everything, syempre, if kung gusto mong makilala, of course, you have to give free haircut. And, syempre, not a lot of people are comfortable na bigyan mo sila ng haircut. Kasi nga, baguhan ka pa lang eh. Wala ka pang ganong experience. Tsaka, hindi pa nabibuild yung confident mo. Kaya yun. So, ngayon pa lang ako mismo, ngayong year pa lang na nag-start na I'm making money. Barbering, it's not, it's okay na yun. Count na yun na you give a good haircut. Tsaka kung ano yung gusto nila. Pero, sometimes bumabalik kasi yung tao sa'yo because how you treat them, how you build a good relationship. with them, right? So, yung experience sometimes ang binabayaran doon.
Ano or sino yung nag-inspired sa'yo or passion mo na ba to noon pa sa Pinas? Yung pagiging hair artist or barber?
Well, actually, hindi naman talaga barbero eh. The only thing that I really want in this career is the freedom. Freedom na anywhere I go, I can find a job. Because I know once I learn how to cut hair, anywhere, it's a skill. Hindi ko makakalimutan yun kasi ginagawa ko yun every day. If I don't want to work, I can clear out my schedule. If I want to work, I want to make more money, I can open my schedule, advertise my work on social media, then I get client, So, yung freedom talaga yung nagustuhan ko dito sa na to. I mean, later on, doon na lang ako naging obsessed sa pagkakat ng hair, yung mga ganun. Pero, most of yung freedom.
Ano yung ibang pinagkakaabalan mo? May iba ka pa bang skills or talent bukod sa kung anong ginagawa mo ngayon?
You know what I found out? I'm very good in selling products while I'm doing the barbering kasi almost 90% of my clients, like if they get a haircut, I always sells them products, So I have lots of friends from shout out Lost and Found. Sa mga vintage, they're selling vintage stuff. So, naisip ko din na, that's a good side hustle if I'm not doing anything. So, it's just started now na I go to thrift store, buy a vintage one like for $3 and sell it for $25, And then, this coming weekend actually, I'm preparing it. Sasali ako sa market. Well, hindi naman talaga totally sasali. Parang,
Ano yung favorite na thrift store na pinupuntahan mo?
Well, you know what? Kasi it really depends. Like, kapag pumunta ako sometimes sa Goodwill, sometimes the price is not really reasonable because they price it differently even though it was donated. So, you just really, especially for me, I'm not really good at looking at vintage. Hindi ko pa kasi alam kung ano, kasi I'm new in the game, di ba? Hindi ko pa alam kung ano yung valuable, hindi ko alam kung ano yung profitable. So what I'm doing is, I will open my Google, then I will take a picture, and it will show everything how much is reselling, you know? So ganun yung ginagawa ko. Kaya pag pumunta ako ng Goodwill, it will take me a good 2 to 3 hours na nandun lang ako, nag-i-scan lang ako. Pero sometimes I get lucky, especially sa Facebook market. Like yesterday, I bought the vintage jacket for just $20.
So pumupunta ka rin sa mga garage sale.
Well,
Kasi-
hindi ko pa natatry kasi nga, syempre, winter no nakaraan and bago lang ako, di
yes.
ba? Pero I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Kasi you might
It's fun actually.
You may find treasure sa mga garage store.
It's fun na, alam mo yon, you learn about vintage stuff at the same time you make money out of it, you know? It's a good hobby. For many years, I always buy luxury, I always buy branded stuff like Stussy, yung mga ganun. Then, ano siya, masyado siyang pricey. Tapos, napansin ko na yung mga vintage clothing, the more you wear it, the more na laban mo siya, the more na magkakaroon siya ng character, and the more na matataas yung value. At the same time, it looks good, you know? So,
mas naluluma, mas
Oo.
maganda, di ba?
usually, if I'm off, I'm just here, nagka-cuddle with my pug and my cat. They're my precious.
Fur babies.
Yeah, yan ang happiness ko. They're my therapeutic pet. And I always spend time with my family, especially now that I have a niece na, well, she's my second niece, but my first niece lives in Japan. So now, na meron kami talaga nandito sa Canada. So, you know, we always spend time together, me and my brother and my mom and my sister-in-law.
So, dahil nag-transition ka sa pagiging, yun nga, barber, hindi ka ba nahihirapan dun sa yung from one field to another? Yung parang, syempre, pag ginawa natin yung isang bagay, di ba, nasa puso na natin yung ginagawa natin, hindi ka ba nahirapan or para i-detach yung sarili mo dun sa trabaho na yun?
Syempre, mahirap in the beginning, especially, you know, as people, we're more on a routine, right? So, if you're doing that for 11 years, more than a decade, syempre mahirap. Pero, in a good way. Like, parang nawalan ako ng tinik. Alam mo yun? Parang, finally, I can do whatever I want, you know? Walang magsasabi sa akin na, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're doing it wrong. You know? Kumbaga, parang lumakas yung confidence ko na, okay, I'm actually doing it on my own. You know? Diskarte ko na to. So, kung magkamali man ako, it's okay. You know? At least alam ko na next time. Medyo nahirapan ako, especially financially. Kasi syempre, di ba, if you're in the healthcare field, especially here in Canada, you make good money, right? Don't get me wrong. Pero tapos alam mo pa yung fix ang income mo, alam mo kung magkano ang darating sa'yo by every 2 weeks, right? In the barber field, kung wala kang kliyente at hindi ka naghahanap ng kliyente, wala kang kikitain. So basically, from scratch ka ulit, you know? So, which is, I found it, I love challenges, you know? Hindi ako takot sa changes. That's one good thing about me. That's why when I decided na mag-switch career, hindi siya nangyari, hindi siya yung, I would say, na pinag-isipang mabuti. Talagang ginrab ko lang. Alam mo yun, kasi para sa akin kasi, that's always, I'm always been like that. If I know na may opportunity, hindi ko masyadong iniisip kasi pag inisip ko, alam ko magba-back out ako. Makikita ko kung ano yung pangit, ganyan. Kaya kapag alam kong may gusto ako, I always grab for it. If it's opportunity, well, look at now, right? So, I think it's a blessing in disguise.
Oh. Gaya nga ng lagi kong sinasabi, if you want something, just do it. Yung parang kung...
Huwag ka na
kung yung
mag-hesitate.
puso-
Huwag ka na mag-hesitate.
Kasi kung mag-iisip ka pa kung gagawin ko ba to or hindi, tama ba, ano ba yung magiging negative
Have you
outcome?
heard the 5-second rule?
Hindi.
5-second rule is, if you want to do something and you're too lazy to do it, count yourself 1 to 5. So 1 to 5 na yon, kailangan mag-get up ka na, gawin mo na agad. Okay, in a count of 5, kailangan gawin ko na to agad. You know, and after that, I can lay down, you know, spend some time with my dog, ganon. But then, may kailangan ka ulit gawin, bukas na yan. But you can actually do it now. Why wait, right?
Balik tayo dun sa dati mong trabaho. Ano yung hindi mo malilimutan na experience mo dun sa trabaho mo with regards sa clients?
You know,
Something na
tinreasure ko talaga.
o na-treasure mo.
I would say, I have one individual client na she's really good teaching other people too. She's so smart. So when I first got here, I'm not really fluent to speak in English. Hindi ako masyado nakaka-understand. May mga deep word na hindi ko talaga maintindihan. Tapos hindi ko alam kung paano gamitin. She taught me how to speak in English. She taught me, you know, simple things. She taught me how I should respond if someone tells me, hey, how are you? You know, it's very usual na typical white person na tatanungin ka, how are you? I know, tinuruan niya ako kung paano ng simple conversation. Tinuruan niya ako kung paano maintindihan yon. Because sometimes, right, especially na pag may sinabi sa'yo in English, tapos sometimes pag tinranslate mo sa Tagalog, parang hindi yata tama yun. But then, tinuruan niya ako kung ano talaga yung mga ibig sabihin nun. So, yun yung pinaka masasabi ko na tinitreasure ko na she taught me how to speak in English and understand English.
Pwede mo ba sa aming i-share yung naging training mo at saka education sa hairstyling or barbering? Tapos, paano mo sinuportahan yung sarili mo, yung funding?
It's actually just one night na nag-i-scroll ako sa Instagram. You know, nasa healthcare field pa ako that time. So, I said to myself, you know, kailangan ko makahanap. Then, I saw this Canada School of Barbering, yung page nila. I just signed up. Hindi ako nagtanong, hindi ko inisip. I just signed up. Then, binigyan ako ng acceptance letter, apply sa student loan. Then, I got denied because I'm making so much of money, right? So, I have to save up. You know, I can't stop working kasi syempre I have to support my daily living, right? Tas kailangan ko pambayaran yung ano ko. So, what I did is, nag-aaral ako sa umaga, sa gabi, nagkatrabaho ako ng healthcare field. Which is, grateful ako kasi tinulungan ako nung company ko na, baguhin yung schedule ko, you know. So, I did that for 4 months. It's supposedly like 3 months lang naman talaga yung program sa Canada School of Barbering. But the thing is, syempre, may mga responsibility tayo sa trabaho, na may mga appointment ng mga kliyente, ganyan. So, I miss school. So, winark out ko. So, it ended up na naging 4 months ako sa school. So, sa school is, for a month, I think, you have to learn about the theory. Then after that, yun sa 3 months na yun, they will teach you to actually cut hair. So, a lot of people go there to school to get a free haircut from students. So, dun kami na-practice. So, I think I did about 500 people for, 3 months? Yeah, before ako graduate.
So, masasabi mo ba na yung barbering is flexible sa lahat ng mga gustong pasukin tong career or
Yes.
opportunity ito?
Yes.
Kasi we know na syempre tayo na nandirito, kailangan natin magtrabaho dahil may mga bills tayong kailangan bayaran, di ba? Sa tingin mo ba yung mga people who are working daytime job, pwede ba nilang pasukin yung pag-aaral ng barbering?
Alam mo kasi, para sa akin kung gusto mo ng change, you need to make sacrifices, right? So, kung gusto mo ng change, kailangan talaga you work on it. Hindi siya overnight na mangyayari. It takes some time. So, kung gusto mo mag-change career, gusto mo mabago yung kapalaran mo, you have to make some sacrifices financially, stress, emotion, lahat-lahat yan pagdadaanan mo. But then, at the end of the day, once na everything na settled down na, makikita mo na I made the right decision. So, at first, mapanghihinaan ka ng loob. Ako, dumating din ako sa point na sinabi, tama ba tong ginawa ko? I have a good career. I'm making so much of money. But then, pinalit ko sa parang career na walang assurance ang kikitain ko. But then, now, I'm not making so much of money compared na kinikita ko nun sa healthcare field. Pero, I have more than enough. Before, I'm making thousands of dollars. Tapos, parang short. Alam mo yun? Kasi, hindi ko naman din na-enjoy yung pera ko eh. Kasi, uuwi ako sa bahay, pagod ako. I don't have friends. Kasi, lagi ako nasa work. Pero now, I meet people every single day. Different people every single day. A different person. A different career. Iba-iba yung career nila. So, at the same time, lumalawak yung connection ko. I learn about people. And, you're also helping people as well. Kasi sa healthcare field, you help people, right? That's the main goal, right? But in barbering, a lot of people think na, you get paid to do that. No, you're also helping them. Kasi nga, you help them to boost their confidence. You help them to make a conversation. You make them to ease kung ano yung mga na-experience nila sa buhay. Kasi, sometimes, a simple, how are you, have a deep conversation with someone, I think it's a good thing.
Just to give an example, kunyari, itong person na to, na gustong pasukin yung barbering, kaya lang yung company niya, hindi flexible yung schedule niya. So, kumbaga, ang work niya is parang daytime lang, yung operation ng business, daytime lang. Ano yung masasuggest mo sa kanya?
You know what? Hindi naman necessarily na you can go, you have to go to school. If you have free time, learn in YouTube Academy. Not a lot of barber actually went to school. They taught themselves, if you're really eager to learn something, you can do it. There's no excuses. Sabi nga nila, sometimes kung sino pa yung mga tao na mas busy, sila pa yung mas mabilis mag-respond because they value something na gusto nilang matutunan. If gusto mong gawin at wala kang enough time in the morning or in the evening, you can watch videos, follow sikat na mga barbero. Madaming tutorial na mga, if you really want to cut hair, then practice on your weekends na hindi ka nagtatrabaho. Practice on your family. Then if you're comfortable, then start, getting client, post on social media, say free haircut or $5 haircut. Because not a lot of people can, especially right now, it's so expensive to get a haircut, right? So not a lot of people actually can afford that. So I would say giving free haircut, nakaka-help ka. And they're helping you too, so you can practice.
So you mentioned na this time mahal magpagupit, di ba? And we know na may mga high-end na barbers talaga sa anywhere. Willing ka ba na i-share sa amin right now yung presyo mo?
So, I usually charge, if they come to me, I usually charge $40. That's plus tax. Because I have to pay the government for the tax, right? If I do mobile, I charge $150. If my client can't afford it, I usually tell them, just pay me whatever you're comfortable paying me. Kasi, especially dun sa mga naging kliyente ko over, a span of last year and this year. Alam mo yung umaasa lang sila sa government, sa CPP, sa mga ganun. And I kind of felt bad. Of course, the goal here is, you need to help people, right? And you want to give them the best service as well at the same time. Even though I know that I'm not really getting paid from what I'm asking for. But, yung naman alam mo yun, yung, how would I say that? Yung pride mo, alam mo yun, na you're actually helping a client at the same time you're practicing your skill. So, it's okay. It's a win-win. So, yeah. If my client can't afford a haircut, it's okay. You can pay me later. If I know it's bad for the business, a lot of people saying that, right? Na bad yan sa business, hindi yan ano. Pero, no. Kasi dumating din ako sa point na I can't afford things. You need to be human, na kung hindi nga talaga afford yun, why would you, but for $40, I always make sure na I give my best customer experience. Yun ang masasabi ko talaga. For $150, anywhere in Edmonton, anytime, I'm always there. Isang call lang, nandun na ako. A couple of days ago, I have a client who's in the cancer hospital. And I kinda know the situation, sold the house, ganyan. And I said to them, they actually gave me $150. But I gave them back. Kasi nga, nakakasad right? I don't like taking advantage to people na hindi naman nila afford. Sabi nga nila, bakit ka pupunta sa isang barbero na alam mo naman na hindi mo afford? But sometimes hindi ganun You have to see the big picture, right? What if kung grandmother mo yun? What if kung nanay mo yun? What if kung hindi nila afford and they just wanna look good? Be themselves. So, sometimes it's not about the money. Like what I said, sometimes it's not about the haircut, it's the experience and the relationship na binibigay mo sa kanila. Kasi, yung kliyente na yun, maaaring nagbigay ka ng free haircut. It's okay, Pero kung magiging kliyente mo naman siya for 10 years at babayaran ka niya ng ganun, di ba? You make good money too, right?
At saka yung relationship.
Yung relationship. Tsaka, kung, for example, hindi ka available and he needs a haircut, he'll actually gonna wait for you because he's loyal to you. Because you have that connection. You have that relationship. So, yun ang tinitignan ko. Hindi ko tinitignan yung short term. I gotta make money. That's business, I always think in a long term. Long-term relationship.
Picture.
Yeah.
So, pagdating sa style, anong klaseng barber ka? Yung parang ikaw ba yung very typical lang na barber or binabali mo yung gusto ng client? Yung parang, ito, trend to, ito yung latest trend. Yung parang ina-apply mo ba sa kanila?
So, if my client comes here and he asks for a certain haircut at alam kong hindi ba bagay sa kanya yun, I usually suggest a different style na alam kong babagay sa kanya. I-explain ko sa kanya kung bakit. Pero kung pinili niya na yun pa rin ang haircut na gusto niya, of course, I will give him the haircut he wants, But as a barber, alam ko kung anong babagay sa'yo at hindi. Alam kong, like for example, kung nagtitining ng hair mo, may mga certain haircuts lang na you will actually look good na hindi magiging visible yung thinning hair mo. Yung mga ganon. And I actually selling them products para, para maayos yung buhok nila, kung ano ba talaga yung kailangan nila. So, I'm not a typical barber because I would say na I'm kinda in the modern now. Modern kasi that's what I studied for. Pero I usually... Well, sometimes, you get a client for like 50 years old, like 70 years old, and they don't really know the term. Sometimes they're just gonna ask you, okay, just make me look good. It doesn't matter what kind of haircut. So, depende din. Kasi if you give a 70-year-old a client a blowout taper, it will not look good. So, you have to ask them, okay, how old are you? What's your profession? What's your hobby? Ano ba ang goal mo? Bakit ka pupunta dito? Are you going to a wedding? Are you going to a business conference? So, magbabase doon kung anong haircut ang ibibigay ko sa'yo. Kung bibigyan kita ng messy haircut and you're going to a business conference, it will not look good. So, I have to give you a professional look, Those kind of things. That's why it's very important to do a consultation first before actually giving a haircut. Because I'm not saying every barbershop does this, but not a lot of barbershop have time to do a consultation. Okay, you want this haircut? Fine, I'll give you this haircut. Whether it looks good on you or not, it's your problem. This is the haircut I'm gonna give you. This is what you asked for. But me, no. I always give time an hour to do a haircut. 15 minutes is consultation. I just want to learn kung ano ba talaga yung personality mo, you know? Ano ba ang, you know, para saan ba yung gupit, you know? So, at least, magkakaroon ako ng idea, ano ba talagang haircut ang dapat ibigay ko sa tao na to.
Paano ba yung consultation process mo?
It depends on the situation. Kasi may mga client na nagbo-book online, so you can't really speak to them, you know. May mga client din na tatawagan ka, okay, I want this, I want that. So, but kahit na nag-usap na kami, I always double check. Pagdating nila dito sa akin, I always give 15 minutes to do a consultation, whether nag-usap na tayo o hindi. Just to make sure na, kasi sometimes, you know, magbubook ka sa akin 2 weeks in advance. Then something came up, may event ka na pupuntahan. So pagdating mo dito, hindi na yun ang hairstyle na kailangan mo. So you have to make sure na magbibigay ka talaga ng enough time para i-consult mo yung client mo. Ano ba talaga ang gusto mong haircut? Para saan ba to? Ano ba yung mga hobbies mo? Yung mga ganun.
Yung shop mo ba exclusive lang para sa men's or pwede rin yung mga female client?
Well, actually, I'm starting to get women's clients now. Kasi in school, they taught you how to do women's haircut too, but we're more focused on men's. But now, I'm trying to explore. So now I'm accepting women's haircut too, but not that complicated haircut. So, like for example, I have a friend that came over like a couple of days ago. She asked for a certain haircut, and I'm not sure how to give that haircut. So what I did is I researched, I Google Academy, YouTube Academy, and I said to myself, yeah, I can do that. So it came out good. So I think I have to practice more kasi medyo na masterize ko na ang men's. So now I want to explore mga simple haircut, yeah, I can do that. Hindi ko na kailangan mag-research. Pero yung mga like wolf cut, yung mga layers kaya ko. Yung mga complicated lang na mga yun. Pero now I'm trying to, again, I want to explore. So I bought a bunch of stuff for coloring too. Well, pinapractice ko sa sarili ko and for my family members. Pero once I'm confident, ayoko kasi na magbigay ng service na alam ko naman na hindi ako confident, di ba? So, I'm just practicing to me and to my family. If they like it, if I need to change a different measurement, mga ganon. And I have a really good friend. She's a stylist. So, if I have a client that, she wants highlights, he wants highlights, ganyan. I usually ask her, okay, what volume should I use? Or kung ano yung hindi ko makita sa research, I usually ask yun ang good thing about here sa Edmonton. Kasi magiging kaibigan mo yung mga stylists, magiging kaibigan mo yung mga ibang barber. So, they will ask you, okay, sa perming, how many minutes usually? Kasi nakita ko yung post mo, masyadong maganda yung pagkakakulot. So, I would say, probably leave it for another 5 minutes. So, yung mga tricks na mga ganon, you will learn it from other barbers and stylists too. They will help you out. For hairstyling, I have to upgrade. So, that will take me a year or 2 to do that. But then, not necessarily you have to go to school to learn it, right? It's really up to you kung gusto mo talagang matuto. But if you want to have a proper knowledge, you have to do your research, you have to do your, through people then. I think the big factor is if you want to be good at it, you have to surround yourself to the people na you have the same goal. I think it's a fact na if you want to be successful, you have to be, hang out with people that's successful. Kasi, you know what? If you achieve in life, if you achieve something na, if you surround yourself with successful people, they will not think that you're bragging. You know what I mean? But if you surround yourself with people na, contento na ako dito, if something's good happened to you, they will think that you're bragging. So, it's depends kung saan mo ilulugar yung sarili mo.
Minsan ba, meron ka minsan ba, may client ka ba na hindi nasiyahan or dissatisfied sa gawa mo? If meron, paano mo hinandle yung sitwasyon na yun?
A very good example is if the client came here tapos nagbigay siya ng, like for example, he has like very curly hair. And yung pinapakita niya na haircut is for straight hair. So you give the exact haircut, hindi niya nagustuhan. So it's okay. If you don't want it, we can do a certain haircut na gusto mo. I always make sure that my clients leave happy sa sa studio ko once they step out my studio. Kaya nga I always like what I'm doing is if alam ko na hindi ako komportable na ibigay sa kanya yung haircut na to na alam kong mag-change ang mind niya, I don't cut it too short. You know, sinasabi ko sa kanya, while I'm cutting his hair, sinasabi ko na, okay, ikakat ko na dito. So, in the middle of the haircut, sinabi niya, oh, I think hindi bagay. So, I can still make some adjustment kung ano talagang babagay sa kanila.
Yung mga typical na Pilipino, hindi naman familiar sa mga terminologies ng mga iba't ibang klaseng gupit, 'di ba? Kasi sa Pilipinas, parang alam na natin, 'di ba? Dito, iba yung mga tawag. Can you give some style or names ng mga cuts na typical?
So, usually, if a typical Filipino, like especially when it's older, he's just gonna ask for, oh, bigyan mo ako ng uno. So, it means like it's buzz cut, you know. O bigyan mo ako ng tres. Yung mga ganon. So, sometimes I have to actually show some pictures of my work. Kung tuturo nila doon kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin. And usually, I will give them time to do research. Like, sa consultation, dun sa 15 minutes na yun, I will ask them to open their phone, you know, look for haircut that they want. So, para just to make sure, I will not cut hair kapag alam kong hesitant yung client kung ano talaga yung ano. Tsaka I will make sure na nagkakaintindihan kami. Kasi once you cut it, you can't put it back, right? So, yun ang technique ko.
So, ano yung mga tawag sa gupit na yun? Like,
so, if it's uno,
explain mo yung mga yung napag-aralan mong terminologies.
like for
Tapos
example,
yan mo na lang sa Tagalog.
hindi ko alam yung mga Tagalog.
Oh, sige.
Usually,
Kahit hindi na,
usually, gentleman's haircut, it's a taper, it's a clean cut. Usually, they call it dos, tres. It means that 2 fingers on the side, number 2, tapos tres dito, it means 3 fingers on the back. Ganon.
Tapos, ano pa yung iba?
Like for example,
Sa mga young kids or young
well,
adults.
right now, especially for the younger generation, they will ask you, okay, I want a 13 buzz cut, which is kind of in the real world, in the barbering world, like 13 buzz cut is like 13 inch on top, right? So I usually say, okay, I will give you a 13 buzz cut. So I'll buzz your hair, but usually hindi kasi siya perfect na once you buzz it, hindi siya perfect na square talaga, tas hindi siya perfect na texture. So I usually scissor work din. Kinakat ko din talaga by scissor to make it even.
Bukod sa pagkat ng hair, ano pa yung other services na ino-offer dito sa studio mo?
Dito in Mobile Barbershop, we offered men's haircut and now I'm trying to learn how to do women's. So if you want a simple haircut, yeah, I can definitely do that. I also do a perm, so I can do both men's and women for that. So the price is depending on the length of the hair and how long it gonna takes, because some hair usually takes more than an hour and some hairs only take about 45 minutes. I also offered waxing and hot shaves, and now I'm trying to once I'm comfortable doing the hair color, I'm gonna start offering that service too.
So, yung Barbera Mobile Barbershop, ano yung mga age bracket ng mga ginugupitan mo? Kasi nakita ko yung very cute na si Dior nagpagupit dito.
Well, actually, wala namang age bracket. Even though it's, well, I have the youngest na client ko is 6 months. I have a 90 years old client. So, it doesn't matter how old are you. If you want to get a haircut, I can give it to you.
Nakita ko sa Instagram mo, may mga nagupitan ka ng mga ilang kilalang celebrities. So, paano kanila nakita?
Well, actually, like what I said, it's about relationship, right? Like, look, once you meet a lot of people, lumalawak yung connection mo, mga ganyan. So, I meet a bunch of producers, a lot of photographers, a lot of, sa social media din siguro, it's also a big help. Kasi nga, they kinda know you, they kinda know what you do, they kinda know, yung work mo. So, I guess, yung exposure, yun yung nag-help sa akin na makapagupit ng mga known people from the Philippines.
So, sino yung mga celebrities na nagupitan mo na?
My favorite, Itchy Worm, sila Jukes, yan. Yung banda na yan, super bait. Wala akong masabi, talagang sobrang bait. Wawi de Guzman, super bait din. Mga PBA player, super bait. Yung mga iba hindi ko na kasi bad experience eh.
Bad experience ba?
Pero yung mga yan talaga ang nag-stand out talaga. Talagang, lalo na yung mga vlogger, yan sila.
Kuya Jobert.
Yes, yan, sila Kuya Jobert. He actually stayed here kasi wala silang hotel na mahanap. I said, you can crash at my place. Yan sila Nonong, yan, the best yan. Mga komedyante. Sila Momon TV, yan, the best din yan. Mababait
Manny
yan.
Arban.
Yan, Manny Arban. Yan, magaling na Zumba dancer yan. Mabait yan.
Si Dior.
Yan, si Dior. Super cute.
Very cute, Dior.
Very cute. Napaka-cute niyan. Tsaka napakabait.
Smart.
Napakabait ng pamilya ni Enes Dior. Wala akong masabi. Mabait talaga sila. Yung papa niya, mama niya, yung mga kapatid niya. Wala akong masabi sa pamilya na yan. Talagang napakababait talaga. Tsaka mabuting tao talaga sila. Kaya binibless talaga sila. Looking at him and Diana too, malayo ang mararating ng magkapatid na yan. And I'm so happy to be, kasi kilala nila ako, I'm so happy and of course, humbled na mabigyan ko sila ng haircut. Makasama ako sa mga ilang vlogs. Actually, it helps my business too. So, yeah, I'm so happy. So, sa consultation, I will ask them ano bang mga products ang ginagamit nila. Ano bang klaseng shampoo, ano bang klaseng conditioner. And pag sinabi nila na regular lang, ganon. And most of my client na pupunta dito na medyo curly ang hair, dry ang hair. So, if you have a dry hair, I usually recommend the product na mag-hydrate nung nila. Especially kung gusto nila ma-enhance yung curl ng buhok nila. They have to use certain products for that kind of hair, that kind of texture, which is curling cream. So, may mga gupit na sometimes, depende. Depende nga kung anong age ng tao na magpapagupit, right? If they want a trendy hairstyle, they want like a, messy haircut, yeah, we can definitely do that. But again, yung mga curling kasi is more on kung paano mo siya inaalagaan. Kasi for me, having a curling hair is really, really nice. Kasi nga, a lot of people paying me to have a curly hair. So, yun nga, depende kung anong products ang ginagamit nila. Nagkaroon na ako ng madaming experience niyan, especially nung nandun ako sa Canal School of Barbering when nagbibigay kami ng free haircut because a lot of some of our clients are homeless, right? So, I usually make sure to treat them quality. Kung ano yung tinitreat ko sa normal na, pupunta dito na nakasuit and tie, it doesn't matter. Client is a client. You have to respect them with dignity and respect. For me, I don't really mind. I will say it in a not offensive word kasi I don't want to offend them or something or make them feel bad. But usually I would suggest na, taking care of yourself, it's actually helping you to boost your confidence. But not a lot of people have choice, right? If you're homeless, do you think na taking a shower will make a difference? You know what I mean? And wala silang access sa washroom, sa mga ganyan. So, I would say na I will treat them the same. Walang diferensya. But then, after the client, I have to make sure that I sanitize everything. And of course, ano naman, every client naman talaga ay sanitize naman talaga kasi that's part we're following the Alberta Health 'di ba? May mga guidelines 'yan. So every client you have to sanitize everything. They even taught you how to do that in school, and you have to use spray, disinfectant spray. You have to wipe the seats, change the apron, no, the cape, So yung mga ganun. Part of the protocol na once, that's why you have to inspect their hair before giving a haircut. Kasi once you notice that there's some lice or something, it's contagious, right? And you don't want to risk that. So it's a no-no, once you have a lice. I usually say it in a very nice word, like, hey, I've noticed that you have a lice, maybe you have to treat it first, and once it's treated, I can inspect it, and then we can book a haircut some other time.
So by saying that, you guarantee your clients or mga future clients na hindi sila magkakaroon ng yung parang may infect yung kuto nila, yung buhok nila, hindi sila magkakakuto dahil from the start pa lang ng consultation at na-notice mo na may something or kuto sa buhok ni client.
And I usually do like, even though hindi ko kinat ang hair, I will double sanitize. Yeah. Everything. Kahit na hindi ko nagamit yung clippers. Just to make sure, right? Wala namang mawawala dun. Of course, kailangan na, mas maganda na clean parati yung mga gamit mo, sanitize everything before you give another client to another person.
So, message mo na lang to someone or somebody na gustong gayahin din yung naging footsteps mo para mapunta sa gantong career. Message mo sa kanila.
I would say na mararanasan mo yung may magsasabi sa'yo na hindi ka magaling, na kailangan galingan mo pa. Madami kang tao na makikilala na hindi maniniwala sa'yo. Pero, despite of everything, as long as you believe in yourself, that's all that matters. Hindi mo kailangan ng ibang tao para magawa yung gusto mong ma-achieve. Nasa sa'yo yun. As long as you believe in yourself that you can do it and you want to achieve something in life, you don't have to think twice. You just do it. Kasi kapag kasi nag-hesitant ka na, gagawin ko ba talaga to? May ganito. Magbabago pa yung isip mo eh. Kaya if there's an opportunity and if you want change, just do it. Wag ka nang mag-alinlangan kumbaga. Gawin mo na lang.
Please invite them to or promote your business.
So, Barbera Mobile Barbershop, I do mobile barbering, and you can come to my studio if you need a haircut. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook page at Barbera Mobile Barbershop. My business phone number is 587-982-2310. My address is 40 Summerwood Boulevard, Sherwood Park, THH 0C2. My unit number is 511, and the buzzer code is 100. But you have to book in advance so I can secure your spot and we can arrange something if you want me to come over to your place. Anywhere in Edmonton, I do provide a mobile barbering.